By the time my husband had already eaten the steak, it had already been inside me. He still doesn't know what happened after the girl left. Living with my husband is difficult sometimes. He ignores me. He locks doors to keep me out. And he brings other women home. But that's okay. I know how to make them leave. David isn't a morning person. I learned that the first week I moved in, so I stay very still when his alarm goes off at 6:30 a.m. I'm usually under the bed by then, or if I'm feeling brave, I'm pressed flat against the wall behind the bedroom curtains. He opens them, but he never looks behind them. Men are so unobservant. I watch him get dressed through the gap in the fabric. He looks tired today. Dark circles, probably because I kept stroking his hair last night. I couldn't help it. It's getting so long. I need to trim it for him soon. He leaves the room to brush his teeth. I wait for the sound of the front door. Click, clunk, the deadbolt. He thinks he's locking the world out. He forgets he's locking me in. As soon as he's gone, the house is mine again. I crawl out from the curtains. I stretch. My joints pop. It's hard staying coiled up for 8 hours. I walk to the bathroom. The air is still humid from the shower. I take a deep breath. Cedarwood and steam. His wet towel is on the floor. He's so messy. I pick it up. I bury my face in it. It's warm, damp. I wrap it around myself. It feels like a hug. I look in the mirror. I haven't showered in 3 days. I look a bit pale, a bit grey, but that's okay. David likes natural women. I wandered into the kitchen. I like seeing what he's planned for dinner. On the counter, sitting on a ceramic plate, is a steak, a ribeye, thick cut. He must be celebrating something. Maybe he's celebrating us. I touched it with the tip of my finger. It's rock hard, freezer burn cold. He took it out too late. He's going to come home tired. He's going to have to wait hours for it to thaw. Poor David. He needs help. He needs warmth. I pick up the steak. It's heavy, cold enough to burn my palm. I lift my shirt. I shiver as the frozen meat touches my stomach. I push through it, for him. I slide the steak down, past my belly button, under the elastic of my underwear. I nestle it right there, in the crease of my groin, where it's warmest, where the heat is trapped. The cold is shocking at first, sharp, but my body fights back. The body attacks the cold with heat. I walk around the apartment, like that for hours, humming, tidying his magazines, feeling the slab of meat slowly softening against my skin. I can feel it sweating, or maybe I'm sweating. The juices are mixing, and the blood from the beef running down my thigh, mixing with my own musk, my own salt, my own scent. It's a marinade, a special seasoning, just for him. When the meat is soft and pliable, I pull it out. It's not grey and frozen anymore. It's warm, slippery. It glistens in the kitchen light, coated in a thin, shiny film of me. I place it back on the ceramic plate. I wipe the red smear off my leg. I smile. When he sears that fat in the pan tonight, when the smell fills the kitchen, he won't know why it smells so rich, so primal. And when he puts that first piece in his mouth, he'll finally taste me. He didn't even wash it. He just seasoned it. Salt, pepper, and me. I'm watching from the gap in the pantry door. The pan hits the heat. Sizzle. The smell fills the apartment instantly. It's heavy, rich. It smells like iron and sweat. Like a locker room. Like a bedsheet after a fever. He doesn't notice. He thinks it's just a fat rendering. He sits at the table. He cuts the first piece, pink in the middle, glistening with that shiny, salty glaze I made for him. He lifts the fork, my breath catches in my throat. My hands clench in the dark, his lips part, the meat slides in. He chews, slowly. He closes his eyes and hums. A shiver shoots down my spine. It feels electric, like he's touching me, like his tongue is scraping against my skin, not the beef. He swallows. I watch his throat bob. I watch the muscle contract as he forces it down. It's done. I'm inside him. My sweat is in his blood. My scent is in his stomach. He cuts another piece, larger this time. He's hungry for me. I press my forehead against the cool wood of the pantry door and close my eyes. I chew when he chews. I swallow when he swallows. It's the most intimate dinner we've ever had. Dinner made him heavy, sleepy. The meat, my meat, is sitting in his stomach now, digesting. I can hear it gurgling as I crawl onto the mattress. He's on his back tonight, mouth slightly open, snoring softly. I lie down on top of him, not heavy. I distribute my weight perfectly, like a blanket. I rest my chin on his chest. I watch his ribcage rise and fall, up and down, up, down. It's too far apart. We're not synced yet. He's breathing his air and I'm breathing mine. That feels lonely. I slide up his body, inch by inch, until my face is hovering directly over his. I can feel the heat radiating from his skin. I can smell the steak on his breath. It smells like me. I need to be closer. I lower my head. I tilt my chin, and I clamp my mouth over his. I seal it tight, my lips against his, my nose hooked over his nose, a perfect, airtight vacuum. He stirs for a second, but he doesn't wake. He just accepts me. I stop breathing. I wait. He exhales. A hot, damp rush of air shoots straight from his lungs into mine. I inhale it, greedily. It's stale. It's heavy with carbon dioxide. It tastes like sleep. I hold it in my lungs, mixing it with my blood, and I exhale it back into him. We do this for minutes, back and forth, recycling the same breath, passing the same ghosts between us. The oxygen starts to fade. The air gets hotter, thicker. I start to feel dizzy. My vision swims. My fingers tingle. It's the best high in the world. We are one organism now, one lung, starving together. His chest hitches. He's struggling for air. His body is panicking. I pull back just an inch, gasping for cool, fresh air. He takes jagged breath in his sleep. Gulp. I stroke his cheek. Shh. I whisper, "That was beautiful." He brought a girl home last week. I didn't get angry. I didn't even feel jealous. I just sat in the dark behind the bedroom curtains, listening to the springs of our bed groan. I watched her leave at 2 a.m. I watched David fall into a deep sleep. He's so careless. He didn't even empty the trash. I went to the bin in the bathroom and found it. A small, translucent knot of latex, still warm. I didn't see a mess. David, I saw a miracle. I saw the only part of you I didn't have yet. I was very careful. I didn't spill a single drop. I lay on the cold tile floor. I used a medicine dropper I found in your cabinet, and I brought you inside me. It's been 3 weeks now. The apartment is quiet. You're at work, thinking you're a bachelor, thinking you're alone. But I'm under the floorboards. I'm touching my stomach, and I can feel you growing. I'm not a guest anymore. David, I'm your family. Someone was eating my food at night and spitting it back. I live alone in a small apartment, No roommates, no pets, no overnight guests. I'm careful about security. I lock the door every night. I check it without thinking. It's just a habit. I'm not the kind of person who jumps to conclusions. If something goes missing, I assume I forgot if something looks off. I tell myself there's a reason. And I don't waste food. I meal prep. I know exactly what I cook, when I cook it, and how much of it's left. The first thing I noticed wasn't the food was missing. It was the bite marks. They were shallow, uneven. Not fork marks, not impressions from a lid. Actual teeth. I remember holding the container in my hand longer than I should have, turning it slowly, tilting it towards the light, trying to line the marks up with my own mouth. They didn't match, too narrow and spaced wrong. I told myself I must have eaten it half asleep. People do that. They get up at night and don't remember. But the more I looked, the harder that explanation became. Because I don't nibble, and I don't stop halfway through a bite. There were places where the food had been pressed down, compressed, like someone had chewed it and then put it back. I noticed moisture, not sauce, not grease, something thinner, clear. I wiped my fingers on a towel without thinking. Then I threw the whole container away. I took the trash out immediately, all the way to the bin outside. I didn't want it in my apartment, and I didn't want to think about why. The night it really stopped making sense. I came home later than usual. I'd been at the gym. Same routine, same time I'm usually gone. When I opened the door, the apartment smelled like food. Not old food, not something reheated earlier in the day. Warm food. At first, I thought I must have left something on. The stove was off, the oven was cold. Then I noticed the microwave. The door was closed. The light inside was still warm. I hadn't used it that day. I stood there for a second, keys still in my hand, listening. The apartment was quiet. I opened the microwave. Inside was a container I recognized, one I'd thrown away. The food was hot, not warm from sitting, hot like it had just finished heating. There were bite marks, fresh ones. I remember standing there holding a new container in my other hand, the one I'd just bought on the way home, and trying to work out the timing, how long I'd been gone, how long food stays hot, and how close someone would have had to be to leave before I arrived. That was the first time I didn't feel like I was finding evidence. It felt like I'd almost caught them. I didn't check the rest of the apartment. I didn't want to know if they were hiding in the closet or behind the shower curtain. I ran to my bedroom, locked the door, wedged a heavy wooden chair under the handle. I sat on the bed, staring at the wood, waiting for it to move. I told myself I wasn't going to sleep. I was just going to wait until morning. My throat was dry from the adrenaline. I had a pitcher of water on my nightstand. I poured a glass, drank it all in one go. It tasted fine, cold, clean. I remember looking at the clock, 11:15 p.m. I blinked, and when I opened my eyes, the room was orange, sunset orange. I looked at the clock again, 7:30 p.m. I hadn't blinked. I had been out for 20 hours. I tried to sit up, but the room spun. My body felt heavy, like lead. My mouth tasted like I'd been sucking on pennies. Then the panic hit. Work. I'd missed the whole day of work. No call, no email. I was going to be fired. I grabbed my phone off the nightstand. My thumb hovered over the call button for my boss. Then I saw the text history. Sent today, 8 a.m. Hey, migraine again, not making it in. We'll update tomorrow. I didn't send that text. I was unconscious at 8 a.m. Someone had picked up my phone, unlocked it, maybe held it up to my face while I was sleeping, and bought themselves another day with my body. I threw the phone onto the bed. I needed to wash the taste out of my mouth, that metallic copper coating. I stumbled to the bathroom. My legs didn't feel like mine. They felt distant, like I was steering them by remote control. I turned on the cold water, splashed my face, scrubbed at my tongue with my toothbrush until it bled. I was drying my face with a towel when I felt it. A sharp, specific sting inside my left elbow. I dropped the towel. I looked in the mirror. My veins are usually hard to see, but right there, in the crook of my arm, was a bruise. It wasn't a bang or a scrape. It was a perfect circle, pale yellow at the edges, dark purple in the center, and right in the middle of the purple, a single, tiny, red scab. A pinprick. I stared at it. I tried to tell myself I scratched a bug bite in my sleep. Or maybe I bumped it at the gym yesterday. But the precision of it made me nauseous. It looked medical. I pressed my thumb against it. It didn't hurt like a surface bruise. It felt deep, sore muscle tissue. Then I saw the second one. I lifted my arm higher, on the tricep, near the shoulder. Another yellow circle. Odor fainted. I stood there, shivering in my cold bathroom, looking at my own skin, and realized it wasn't just last night. I had been losing time for weeks. I bought a hidden camera, disguised as a phone charger. I plugged it in facing my bed, hid it behind a laundry pile. That night, the heaviness took me again. Next morning, I checked the file. I skipped straight to 3:42 a.m. Movement. A hand entered the frame from the left, from the corner of the room I thought was empty. It was pale, thin. It didn't search. It went straight for the lens. They knew exactly where I'd hidden it. The camera spun, then it faced the wall. I watched 4 hours of drywall, but the audio was still on. I turned the volume up. I heard my own heavy breathing, and then, right next to the microphone, the sharp snap of a latex glove and a soft, quiet humming. I knew I had to leave. Right then, I didn't pack a bag, I just grabbed my keys. I made it to the hallway. I reached for the deadbolt, but my hand didn't work. It wasn't just shaking, it was dead. The signal from my brain just stopped arriving. My knees buckled. I hit the floor hard, cheek pressed against the floor. I tried to scream, but my tongue felt heavy, swollen, useless. I couldn't move. I could only watch. The hallway closet door slid open. He didn't run at me. He didn't have a weapon. He walked out slowly. He was naked, pale, so skinny I could see every rib moving around under his skin. He stepped over my leg. He reached up and slid the chain lock into place on the front door. Click. Then he straddled me. He sat his full weight on my chest, pinning me to the floor. He smelled sour, like old sweat and stomach acid. He looked down at me. His eyes were wide, dilated. He didn't look angry. He looked disappointed. He ran a cold hand down my throat. He squeezed my jaw. "You're too thin," he whispered. "You're not keeping it down. You need your strength for the procedure." He leaned forward, his face inches from mine. I could feel his hot, wet breath on my lips. He pinched my nose shut, tight. My lungs burned. I gasped for air. My mouth flew open, instinctively, and he locked his mouth over mine. He sealed it tight, wet, suctioned. I heard a sound in his throat, a wet, guttural retch. And then the heat, thick, chunky, warm fluid forced down my throat. I tried to gag. I tried to cough it up, but he held my nose shut. He held my jaw open. Gravity took over. My body betrayed me. The swallowing reflex kicked in. I swallowed and swallowed and swallowed. It tasted like bile and pasta. My pasta. When he was empty, he pulled back. A string of saliva connected us. He wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. He smiled. "There," he whispered. "That's better." He patted my cheek. Then he grabbed my ankles and started dragging me back toward the bedroom.